becomes unsafe for you to win.
It said 10 minutes. I didn't record it, so it kept repeating itself. I've been on the phone 7 minutes, and it started out as 10 minutes, and it's still at 10 minutes. They immediately know if I'm recording or not, and they cease every moment when I'm not. They know. So it's malfunctioning now that I wasn't recording.
Maybe longer. If at any time your estimated wait time is about 2 minutes.
This is how long I've been on hold.
You've reached the National Domestic Violence Hotline. My name is Christy. We're married. We're dating. Is that what you're looking for support with?
A stalking situation.
Okay, and is this from a previous partner or a spouse?
It was someone I had met online that I had a dating situation with. I see some help that I can get through Health and Human Services on your site and on their site. Can you tell me what that's about?
Well, I'm sorry, we aren't connected to, I believe you said Health and Human Services.
It does show. Hold on, 1 second.
Well, if you have questions about, what
Your site altered because the other day it was like a heart, and then at the bottom it said Health and Human Services, but it altered. So let me try to find the little heart that I saw yesterday that just disappeared today. Are you able to hold one moment, or you have to keep talking? Are you able to hold one moment like I asked?
Okay, I can give you up to 2 minutes, but then I'd have to disconnect.
It wouldn't be 1 moment. Isn't 10 minutes, but okay, 1 moment, please. So you give resources. The site altered. The heart that I saw yesterday is missing. So you give resources, but you don't want to tell me what the Health and Human Services does.
So
it was at the bottom of your page yesterday, Health and Human Services, but the site altered.
So we don't know what Health and Human Services offers because that's a completely different.
But you give resources, ma'am. They won't tell me the truth. Can you find out? Can you get a supervisor? Because your site altered. I would like to know about Health and Human Services. I'd like a supervisor to get on the phone so she can find out what that referral can do. I've been on the phone 20 minutes, and you guys have been committing crimes years to keep me from services and education on how to escape my abuse and been psychologically abusive. I was on the line 20 minutes I called to find out what Health and Human Services does because they won't tell me in person.
We aren't Health and Human Services, so we don't know what they do. That's depending on where you're located and what they're able to offer. If you're looking to contact the local Health and Human Services, I would recommend.
They claim that they don't know how they help with domestic violence when I call on my phone. I can't get the truth. That's why in your site altered. But I have it recorded how the site looked yesterday. Yeah, there was a little heart.
Our website is thehotline.org. The information to your local domestic violence agency, I can find them. I can't give any information about Health and Human Services because, again, we don't have any information to give.
But it was at the bottom of your site yesterday. Like it was a partner or someone you dealt with. Okay, I can't stop you guys from sabotaging assistance. So I was on the line 20 minutes. What can you give me help with?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I can give you the information to your local.
Well, can you give me the information, ma'am? Can you give it to me? The information?
Yep. Do you have something to write on?
I do.
Okay, perfect. So your local agency is called Safe Haven.
They always first giving me Safe Haven. Okay.
Okay.
I don't need the number, ma'am. I don't need that number.
Okay, is there anything else I can do for you today?
You only want me to have one place? And this is the National Domestic Violence Hotline? I want people to go to... This is just felony after felony after felony. So I have called and been on the line 20 minutes for one number.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what you're looking for.
Why would you just give me one number? And then yesterday it says on your website, in the website altered, that you're supposed to call.
Okay,
and connect me with the organizations.
I don't have the information to Health and Human Services. But if you'd like to maybe clarify what it is you're looking for,
Psychological abuse,
then I can
it's
find some
intentional.
more resources.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, if you'd like to maybe explain what kind of services you're looking
You
for, I
only
can
gave me
find
one
some more
shelter, ma'am,
resources.
to flee a domestic violence crisis. You didn't do a safety plan. You didn't even call the shelter like you're supposed to do. Connect me with
So
the
you're
shelter.
looking for shelter? Are you looking for a shelter today?
Yes.
Okay. So, just to tell you what I see, I only have one domestic violence shelter within a 25-mile radius of you, and that one's in
It can be
Tyson.
on the outskirts.
Okay, so you're able to go outside of the 25 miles?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So, going after that, the next one I have is called Freedom House.
Is that a domestic violence place or is it a homeless place for women? Because they keep giving me places that are sabotaged assistance. Like it's not
So the
domestic violence
shelters,
organizations, it's like for homeless women calling on the domestic violence hotline. So what is this house called?
the, shel- the shelters I have been vetted to serve intimate partner violence. Sometimes they have a broader scope than that. I'm not sure. You'd have to contact them for the details.
And what is it called?
It's called Freedom House.
Where is that located?
This is in Parker County.
Okay, I'd like you to connect me with them.
Okay, would you like their phone number?
Yes.
Okay, so the phone number I have is 817-596-8922.
Okay.
8922. And again, that was
8932.
817. I'm going to read again. It was 817-596-8922.
89 what?
8922.
Okay.
Okay. And you said you'd like me to
Yes, to
transfer
make
you
sure
to
they have
them?
space and everything. To make sure they have space and connect me.
Okay, give me one moment.
Texas Health and Human Services, Family Violence Program, Texas Health. No one will tell me about it for years.
Fortunately, Freedom House was at capacity.
Okay, we can keep working at it.
Okay, well, I can give you one more, and then I can connect you to one more.
I thought
Have you been
I
given?
don't understand why my help has been controlled. Why wouldn't you keep trying until you connected me with someone? But you guys have left me as well as all my environments and my abuse and never had time for 6 years. So I'm not quite understanding why
I'm
you
a little
won't
confused.
keep trying until I'm connected with a place to save my life. Why it doesn't matter to an army full of people.
Good question. So we do care about your safety. You're incredibly important, but we don't connect our callers to all the shelters in our system,
I
right?
just
We
don't
only
understand
offer
why
to
people don't
connect you
keep
to
on
a
working to
few.
save my life until they do in all of my
Well,
environments.
if you like I mentioned, I can connect you to one more, and then you can find all the shelters we have in our database on our website as well. That's available for
I mean,
everyone
I
to
don't. The
access.
conspiracy to violate rights is a felony charge that people have yet to get. Give me what you're willing to give me, ma'am.
Okay, perfect. I can give you the other one. This next one is called Friends of the Family. It's in Benton County. Okay, Friends of the Family. The phone number is going to be 800-572-4031. Again, that was 800-572-4031.
Okay. I'd like to see
Okay,
if they
perfect. Give
have
me one moment.
capacity or if they're at capacity.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to place you on hold right now.
I've done this for years. Look how long I've been on the line. I'm here.
Okay. I just got off the phone with friends of the family in Denton County. Unfortunately, they're also at capacity right now.
Okay, let me speak
So
with
like
your
I mentioned, you
supervisor.
can
Because
always.
let me speak with your supervisor.
Okay,
I'm
regarding
just
what?
trying to incriminate people so people can see there's a pattern. Yeah, let me speak with your supervisor to figure out why you guys don't repeatedly help or any environment that I'm at to rescue me from my abuse, to do job tasks and save someone,
So
and not
we
say
are,
I've tried twice, so I have to go. They do it in person, leaving me in it.
so we
So
are,
this is a felony
we are
charge.
an
I'd like to speak with your
intervention.
supervisor, ma'am. You have integrity issues?
Okay, give me one moment. Wanted to check in and let you know I'm looking for a manager. Give me one moment.
Okay. 37 minutes for this phone call. 43 minutes.
Okay?
Okay.
Thank you for your patience.
You're welcome. She said she found someone, but I'm still on hold. 44 minutes. 59. 45 minutes now.
Just having some issues transferring the call, but we're working through it now. Just give me a couple minutes, okay?
You're having issues transferring the call. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You'd like to speak to my manager still? Is that correct? Just give me a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
4805. They're having trouble transferring. My luck, right? Or is this intentional? Like I said it was. 50 minutes to get nowhere, 6 years. They're having trouble transferring. Wouldn't it make sense for the supervisor just to call me instead of them scam and that they can't transfer? It's Fort Worth, Texas. And you it didn't record it, but you when I asked you to place me in a safe environment, you said, "Do I have family?"
Yes. Usually, if you want to
I
go
just
into
wanted to
another
repeat that. Okay, ma'am,
area,
I got it. I said, "Place me in a safe environment," and you said, "Do you have family?" Okay, but we on the same page now that you're actually going to help me and not be condescending.
and I'm trying to explain that
You don't
we're
have to
going
explain.
to
I
a
just want to get
shelter in
to. I just
another
want to get to the point.
area.
I just want to get to the.
Shelters want to
If it's
know
okay, I'd
if
like
you
to just
have
get.
support in
I'm not
that
okay.
area.
You go ahead, ma'am.
Do you need assistance with transportation?
Yes,
And is it just for you, or do you have
it's just for me.
children? And is it Fort Worth?
Yes, or the surrounding cities. I can't go to Safe Haven. That's where everyone recommends out of malice, trying to be funny. Because I'm not. I can't go there. In fact, I can't go anywhere. It's all controlled. Ma'am?
Is Richland Hills too far?
No, I'm trying to
Hello?
relocate. I'm trying to relocate.
So is Richland Hills too
I
far?
no, ma'am. No. I answered you 3 times. No, I'm trying to relocate.
And where are you trying to relocate to, ma'am?
You just said Richland Hills. It's mind games.
And you said you didn't want to go to Richland Hills.
That's what you
Hello?
heard? You want me to text you? You want should we
No, ma'am.
to
So
do
we
a
don't.
chat
I
so
don't
it's in
have the
writing what I'm saying so
capability
I
to
don't have the
text,
same games aren't played?
ma'am. I'm trying to assist. I
How
asked
could you
if
should be trying
Richland
to
Hills
assist
was
and I've
too
told you
far,
Richland Hills was
and you
okay
said
4 times. Richland Hills, this was
okay.
being
So
my
I'm
fifth
gonna.
time.
You want to write down the number?
Yes, and I'd like you to check, connect me with them, and make sure they have a capacity or not at capacity. What's the number?
817
Okay.
284
Okay.
8464.
Okay. Are you going to try to connect me and see if they have space?
Yes, ma'am. And it's the Battered Women's Foundation.
Okay.
So one moment.
Okay. Keep in mind, I'm getting defrauded out of funds. 6 years of this controlled device. I'm being defrauded out of funds and just stuck in it and couldn't do anything about it. I pay a phone bill to get violated like this for 6 years plus. I don't know why that's not theft of services. Well, that's considered theft because they're forcing me to pay for services they're not willing to give me. Yes.
They did not answer. I can try the next one on the list, which is in Arlington.
Okay.
Is that
What happened? I was on the line with the National Domestic Violence Hotline.
Yes, ma'am. They transferred you over. I'm sorry that she didn't let you know.
Oh, what did they transfer me over to?
Okay, this is Safe Haven Hotline of Tarrant County.
Oh, okay. That's what she transferred me to. But you guys aren't con
Yes,
artists.
ma'am.
Okay. Well, yes, I'd like
No,
to get
ma'am.
services.
Ma'am, they're not allowed to give the incident. She just informed me that
She said that she was
you
giving
were
me a
in
place in
our
Arlington. She lied to me. She said she was giving me a location in Arlington. That was a blatant lie.
I'm not
She
sure,
said she couldn't
ma'am.
get the
We
Richland
order
Hill. I'm informing
location.
you of what happened, ma'am, for my domestic violence crisis. She
I'm
said she couldn't get Richland Hills on the line, and then she said she was going to go to Arlington, and then the games were played, and I got Safe Haven. But okay, I think I talked to you
okay.
before when your representative threatened the police because I wanted a safety plan, to threaten security because I asked for a safety plan to combat police corruption. So she threatened security
That's what
and never called me back.
that's what she that's what she stated.
No, that's what I thought. I spoke with you already, and we discussed that. How your
Oh no,
representative
ma'am. No,
did a
ma'am.
protection order request and then left me hanging and never talked to me again and threatened to put me out and threatened security for me trying to do a safety plan. You sound like the woman I spoke with
You
that claimed
said
that
you
they were her
spoke.
supervisor.
Ma'am, I haven't even got your name. I'm not
I'm
sure
just
who
trying to
you to me
communicate
at
to you
all.
that you sound like that
You
individual.
transferred.
Okay, I just found that if
Okay,
I was
but
being connected with Arlington, I'm not quite sure how you're on the phone, ma'am. Like for 6 years, games.
okay.
But
Well, Arlington is a part of Tarrant County. So she just transferred you to someone in Tarrant County. So we're just trying to assist you with help. I can't start our process to try to get you any help if you're not telling me what's going on. I'm not sure
I
what you
did.
want her
I
to go
wasn't
do
being heard,
about.
ma'am. I told you that I already thought I already dealt with you, and you're not doing any legwork to figure out what's going on. You sound like the same woman. And I
Okay,
did
well you can
communicate that I
continue
have already
being the
been
same
there, and you
woman
haven't
and I
tried to
need
get
your
my
name.
name. That's probably why you don't understand. I did communicate that your staff threatened security for me trying to get a safety plan to combat abuse that police are enlisted in. She threatened security. Did a
I'm not aware of that information
Yeah,
at
that's
all.
why I'm
I
trying to
apologize
report
that
it.
I felt like
I
saying.
don't know why my calls have been like
Can
this,
I
ma'am,
get
for
your
years.
name?
People condoning insane events. What would you like, ma'am?
Can I get your name?
Yes, it's Kiana, Keyana, Clark, Clark.
Thank you, Ms. Corky. Your phone number is Kiana, Key, stating that you are located in Arlington.
You got my information up?
No, ma'am. I have
Oh,
no
you got my
information
name,
of
my
you at
date of
all.
birth, and
If I
everything, and
stated I haven't spoken to you.
you don't have my information up with my name and date of birth and all that.
No, ma'am.
Oh, it didn't come up.
No, ma'am, because I haven't spoken with you before.
Oh, so it's not in your system.
Ma'am, do you want me to assist you with help or not?
Are you starting an
I'm not
argument?
understanding what it is for.
I just gave you my information, and I told you so the representative did a safety plan.
Okay.
Wouldn't do a safety plan, and in addition to that, we did a
Yes.
protection order, and she would not. She didn't follow protocol and wouldn't contact me back to sabotage assistance. And everywhere I
Okay.
go condones behavior like that to keep me in jeopardy.
And so now you're wanting to speak with a supervisor, or what services are you
I
speaking
was
with,
connected to you.
David?
Did you forget that I was connected to you from the domestic violence hotline? She told me she was going to
Say
connect
that
me
to
with
me
a.
right
She
now.
told me she was going to connect me with a domestic violence location in Arlington. Did you forget that's how we
I'm
got
not sure
connected?
why they didn't connect you. I'm not sure why they didn't connect you that way. I'm trying to see how to assist you now. I don't really understand
I don't
what's
know how
going
you
on
can
with your
assist me
domestic.
because I would have to take instruction from you on how you could.
Okay, so I'll have to place you on a brief hold so I can get my supervisor on the line to
Oh,
speak with you.
what would you need your supervisor on the line? You're not equipped to know. They got you on the phone, but what's on hold? Deliberate mind games. 1 hour and 11 minutes of games, almost an hour and 12 minutes. In fact, 6 years. 1 hour and 13 minutes. 1 hour and 14 minutes. They have to get a plan on how they're going to continue to sabotage services, what they're going to do, what they're going to say, if they're going to start another argument and then blame me for it, or they have to get it together on what they're going to do to keep me from getting these services that I have not received 6 years. So the police department, they used to instruct people, they're conspirators, to threaten police. Now, since they've incriminated themselves, they threaten security, and then they sit in their own counterfeit security. So the police don't continue to incriminate themselves. But doing this intimidation and to intimidating someone, trying to get services, and doing that in a conspiracy is criminal. You just can't do that. Send people out to intimidate someone for wanting services or assistance. But they have had no consequences for years of this. 1 hour and 17 minutes. It's not an accident. I believe it's deliberate. 1 hour and 19 minutes. So since these people are told to be sadistic, normally what they would do is hang up or either transfer me to a voicemail after waiting all this time. My phone's malfunctioning. The light's not coming on. This is the time. 1:25. It started ringing.
Hey, David, how can I help you?
I don't know, ma'am. I was been on hold for a while. I was connected to you guys.
Is this Miss Clark?
It is. It is.
Okay. So, what can I help you, Miss Clark?
Yes. You don't take reports of misconduct at all?
I'm sorry?
Do you take reports of staff misconduct at all? What's your name?
I'm not really sure. I'm trying to help you the best that I can. I am the supervisor of the hotline department, so I'm trying to figure out what your needs.
Oh, you didn't want me to know your name? Your name is the supervisor? Hello?
Ma'am, I'm trying to figure out what you're needing so I
Oh,
can
you don't
help
want me
you
to know
with
your
it.
name?
So I at least give you my name. My name is Denise, and I'm trying to figure out what you need assistance with.
Okay, I've been on hold. This is a domestic violence organization?
This is a domestic violence hotline. Yes, correct.
Is it an emergency hotline? Crisis hotline?
It is a hotline that's 24/7.
Is it a
Yes.
crisis hotline? Okay. And are you a supervisor?
Yes, ma'am. What can I help you with?
Okay. What do you do with reports of staff misconduct?
Ma'am, what are you needing assistance with?
Oh, I can't report staff misconduct? Okay. Are you guys willing to give me services? Because I was getting services there, and like all locations I go to, it was interrupted. And that nobody's getting these felony charges for conspiracy to violate rights.
Ma'am, what is your name?
It's Kiana. I thought you said Miss Clark already, like you knew.
given your last name, Miss Clark, but you haven't been given us any information, so we're unable to help you because you've been arguing this whole time with my staff and myself. So I'm trying to help you the best that I can.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because reporting misconduct and crimes, it is arguing in multiple different locations. You do get arrested for reporting crimes and abuse. I apologize for that. So I see that your safe haven does not allow people to report staff misconduct. You're abusive when you do report that. So I will not report staff misconduct. So what would help me to make better decisions in the way that I treat you guys? Because I'm allowed that you guys are allowed to threaten security to keep me from a safety plan that to protect me from the police department. I'm creating havoc when I report that misconduct. So what kind of way can we work together for me to actually get the services and not be forced to be the scapegoat?
Well, Ms. Clark, this whole time since you got on the phone,
we've already addressed that.
You have not given me what you're needing in order for me to figure out how we can assist you. And if we're not an option, what option I can give you?
Okay, I did. I thought I communicated that I got a safety plan. I didn't get a safety plan, but someone worked to get me a protection order and then threatened the police, and it's my fault. Threatened security. She threatened security when I asked for a safety plan. So that's my fault.
What is your date of birth? I'm sorry?
My date of birth? You won't take those complaints, and it's my fault for trying to report misconduct. And I'm being problematic by trying to get services.
I don't know if you have met with us before because I don't have anything under that date of birth for you.
Well, I don't know how to get the services, ma'am. Each place I go, the police department interrupts it, and if they are going to help me, they retract for 6 years. But if you're willing to tell me how I can get services and be treated properly, and not blamed for staff misconduct and inappropriate behavior, like I've had to endure years, that would be wonderful.
So what service are you needing? What are you needing assistance with is what I'm trying to figure out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what you're trying to figure out. Okay, protection orders.
Yeah.
Safety plan.
Okay.
Shelter. Job search.
Okay.
Housing. Legal. And advocacy.
Okay. So now is shelter something you're needing right now?
Yes.
Okay. So for shelter, I do have to ask you some questions. Are you currently in a safe place?
I'm at a homeless shelter, but I'm going through an amazing domestic violence crisis. If you ask me, it's pretty intense.
Okay. So can you tell me
because
what's
businesses
been going
are enlisted. Businesses, churches, organizations, multiple police departments are enlisted in abuse, even family members and some friends. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Can you tell me what's been going on? What is your current situation with
Okay, you want me to repeat
violence?
it? The domestic violence has been multiple different businesses, organizations, police departments, family members, churches have conspired with the abuse, psychological abuse, harassment, and conspiracy to violate rights. I have multiple false arrests. Kids were taken in corruption, and this is the biggest conspiracy to violate rights schemes that I've ever seen, down to crimes trying to purchase food and water before COVID. People completely ignored me for years, and then all of a sudden COVID happened and no one had services.
Okay. Ms. Clark, are you in an abusive relationship?
I communicated that the police department and all these places were enlisted in abuse to this day currently.
Okay.
And that's a lot of psychological abuse done, stalking, by the police department and a gang full of people, gang stalking as well.
Okay. So, from everything you have mentioned, we would not be an option because we're a domestic violence agency that specializes in intimate partner violence. And within everything that you have mentioned, you mentioned family violence, you mentioned organizations, you mentioned police departments, and so we would not be an option for shelter. And I know you're currently at a homeless shelter right now. Is there a reason why you're trying to leave that shelter?
Yeah, I don't get proper advocacy because people condone me, the government and police stalking me and let me sit in it for 6 years. Each location I call on my phone, 211 didn't want to give me numbers until I started recording, and that's the information line. So I'm not, when I go to report the crimes to my provider, the police department would show. Now they forced me to get straight talk and corruption, and I reported to straight talk, and they covered for it, calling on my phone. So for 6 years, no place had ability to help me. Do you have referrals? Because for 6 years, they've never done it. They want me to live in homeless shelters, fleeing for my life. I think it's pretty more serious than the average woman. If the police department, restaurants, and shelters, and someone's hacking your phone, that's pretty serious and dangerous for someone to repetitively be allowed to abuse this much power to routinely get ignored, including trying to have a decent church service and peace can't be done. Even that's interrupted.
Yeah.
So
the only thing that I can do is I can give you other options for a different homeless shelter that maybe you can get a better advocacy at a different shelter. There's really nothing I can do with everything that you have been mentioning.
I can't. You don't think a domestic violence will take me nowhere for stalking this extreme? You don't think it can be done at a domestic violence shelter? Period. If I feel my life is in danger because I have 20 false arrests, kids taken in corruption, ran off roads, assault with a deadly weapon, assaults, deny my constitutional right to go to court.
That's an agency that is doing this to you. So I'm trying to get you connected to the appropriate services. I would have to.
I'm just trying to get clarity, ma'am, because this is a domestic violence organization. I'm just trying to get your expertise on if police have assaulted me, stalked me, ran off roads, guns pulled on me, attacked, identity theft, all these things going on. Your expertise would tell you that I need to go to a homeless shelter?
Ma'am, I don't even know how to direct you with this situation. This is something that we are not familiar with.
Your first response is to for all this time on the phone that I've spent, in fact, years, your first response would be for me to refer me to another homeless shelter. It's like my abuser's controlling these calls, ma'am.
Well, you're mentioning that your current advocate is not assisting you the way that she's supposed to, and you currently have a shelter that you're staying at. So I am suggesting other shelters because maybe you can get better advocacy at a different shelter. And then another thing that I do want to mention is you did mention that you would like housing. Have you tried going to True Workplace to get that homeless assessment done? With you living in a homeless shelter, you're able to complete this homeless assessment, which puts you in the system, and they can direct you better on how to get housing services. Have you gone to True Workplace?
Well, I haven't been able. If I get the housing like I've done, the abuser isn't put under control or the police department, so they interrupt it. No one has got accountability for the government hacking my phone, so they don't get their felony charges. And who knows who all they've robbed out of funds, because how can you get scammers like this in your pocket? So I think they have to be identity thieves, but I'm not frequently heard. So when I'm calling around, people are condescending and abusive for 6 years. And that's something that you have to prove from call to call. They're being funny and keeping you from services. So each place I call, they want to refer me to another location just to spin my wheels because he loves that, like, taunting. So keep giving her numbers for 6 years. And for 6 years, every location she has ever called has gave her a number to another location. And they make sure that I'm calling these numbers and don't present myself in person. But when I do, they're there to interrupt that as well. But all conspirators are told, give me phone numbers So because they know that they're controlling my phone and corruption to enforce that I speak with scammers and have to endure this insanity more years. So what I'm trying to do is my own campaign and expose that's what's going on, because when you're calling a domestic violence organization, telling someone that you've been ran off roads, trapped on buses, and all of this, and they refer you to a domestic violence organization trying to be funny, not a domestic violence organization, but a homeless shelter trying to be funny. But in the past, I would get assaulted and arrested at those locations and criminal trespasses. But since they've incriminated themselves, they've concocted other schemes to keep me from those services so they don't incriminate themselves. So I don't know what to do, because I did call a domestic violence hotline and you appear to be covering for it, ma'am. And you won't take any reports of the staff misconduct that I experienced in person. And now my file has completely disappeared when no follow-up was done for the protection order. She would not call me back, and she threatened security and then ducked and dodged me. That happened at Mosiac and a whole bunch of other locations.
Well, unfortunately, ma'am, we would not be an option for assistance. This is out of my expertise with the situation going on with the police department, with these agencies. So unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. We would not be an option for assistance. I'm trying to help you the best that I can by giving you the options that I know that.
Okay, what numbers would you like to give me, ma'am, for my life being in jeopardy, ran off roads, child abuse going on, child custody issues, you have legal, deny me of services there, 2 kids taken away in corruption, identity theft, cyber crimes, targeted by the government. So which place would you refer me to get out of that domestic violence crisis that involves the government?
Ma'am, all of these different things that you're needing are going to be having to be directed towards different agencies. So if you are expressing there's issues going on with agencies, if you feel like the police department has mistreated you in any type of
Are
way,
my
you would
abusers
have to
running the
direct
police
yourself
department
directly with them.
organizations? My abusers running the police department, domestic violence organization, churches, civilians, CPS, my bank, credit card company, and an army full of other people, Social Security Administration, Attorney General, Food, Health and Human Services, food stamps. Each thing that I get to help benefit MHMR is intercepted. Churches. So to combat that, and you're a supervisor?
Ma'am, it seems like what you're looking for is not something we can do. This is that you have
We've
different things
communicated
going
that.
on, and
So
I'm really
you do give
sorry
referrals. This is
that you're
domestic.
going through this.
I'm not being heard, ma'am. This is
However,
domestic
you are,
violence. First, I asked you what
I'm
referrals
sorry
that you
that
can
you're
give.
talking over me, and I'm trying to help
Oh,
you.
you're staging conflict now,
So
ma'am? Okay, go ahead.
I'm trying to.
Okay, you're staging conflict, ma'am. Go ahead.
So I'm trying to help you the best that
I'm
I
asking
can,
for
but what
resources,
you're
ma'am.
telling me, there's a lot of.
I'm asking
Ma'am,
for
I'm gonna
resources.
end this call at this time because you're not listening to me, and I'm trying to help you, but you have different things going on which involve different agencies and different people that you would have to contact.
Mind games.
That's not
Antagonize.
something that I'm able to do, ma'am. So, like I said, if you want housing, I can get you the number for True Worth Place. If you're trying to make report about police departments mistreating
No,
you,
I
would have
tried to
to
tell you
direct
what I
them
wanted, but you keep
towards
gaslighting me and blaming me for trying to direct you in the area I want services. You keep gaslighting me and blaming me for trying to get the referrals. So if I could, in a domestic violence crisis that involves the government and an army full of other conspirators, how can I get? Can you refer
and
me
this
to a
is not
location that
something
can
that
help
we're
in a
able to
domestic violence
assist
crisis?
with.
You've communicated that with me, but you give referrals, right? So in a domestic
Right,
violence
and so
crisis,
I'm trying to give you these options. So would you like the True Worth Place
that's not a
phone
domestic
number?
violence organization, ma'am.
I can give you domestic violence shelters. They're going to be all over in different cities. So let me know when you're ready, and I can give you those phone numbers.
Okay. Thank you, because people do like to start arguments and hang up and blame me for it.
So the first one that I want to give you is Mosaic.
Yeah, I
And
communicated.
that
They're
phone number,
crooked. I mean, the problem of it is, ma'am, I just have to give evidence. Every place is controlled. So it would every location I go, someone's monitoring my phone and interrupting any ability I have to flee. So it's really fruitless. And then I just keep on being on this hamster wheel. I'm just trying to show my experience so people can get the consequences for their actions. And since a lot of people have not been concerned about me getting violated, perhaps maybe they're concerned about an identity theft ring that has this much power to abuse. Because you don't call 6 years for every location to conspire with crimes and play mind games and get no help,
okay, Ms.
period,
Clark,
which is a
I'm
felony.
going to end this conversation. I'm going to end this phone call. I was just trying to give you some resources.
I don't know
And
how it's going to be helpful, ma'am. If it says
I
that you're
don't,
supposed to be a support system on your online and you're being abusive because I'm telling you about my abuse and you're punishing me for telling you about it. If I'm not
I
able
am
to
not.
report
I
to
am trying
you
to help
what
you
my
the best that
experiences
I
are
can.
and you punish me for reporting the pain and suffering that I've been through, that's not what your website says that you do. That says that you're compassionate and you provide support for women fleeing abuse. That's not support because I'm telling you about the amazing events I've had to endure and you want to punish me for reporting it to you. You want to end the call like an army full of people
I am
have done,
trying to
trying
help
to
you the
punish
best
me
that I
for trying
can.
to get out of the
Ms.
abuse
Clark,
and empower myself. So I don't know what to do,
Ms.
ma'am.
Clark,
You
I'm
didn't give
just
me the number
trying
to
to help
Mosiac,
you.
and you're not advocating for me, and you're blaming me for your misconduct, like a lot of other parties have done that I've called on my phone. You're wanting to punish me for trying to be empowered and demand rights, which is my constitutional right to have these rights that have been stolen from me in corruption. So I was trying to inform you before you threatened to end the call, like an army full of people have done, that I don't know what to do because all these people are enlisted in abuse, and the government just enlists them to conspire with crimes and not give me services. And as a supervisor, as an advocator, you have not given me any avenues on how to escape this. What is going? I mean, if I keep getting these numbers and everyone does like you do and punish me for trying to escape abuse, what is the point? Can you help me? It
Ma'am,
says that
I
you're supposed
have
to do a
informed
safety
you that
plan. You didn't
we're
do
not
that on the
an
crisis
option.
line.
It seems like there's a lot of things going on, and this is, like I said, this is out of my expertise. And so
Right,
this
but
is
there are
what
some
I'm
things.
trying
If
to give
you can tell me
you.
about how I can do things to protect myself against the abuser or stalking. You didn't go over that. You didn't give me a safety plan. You didn't give me any legal
Ms.
advice
Clark, I'm going to
or
end this
advice on my
call at
rights
this
or
time.
direction. And you're a supervisor.
Ms. Clark, you have been mentioning different things going on, like an abuse with agencies, police departments. This is out of my
I
expertise.
was
So
informing
there's
you that an
nothing I can
abuser is running all
do
these
regarding
people
that.
over and over again, but each time I report it to you, you blame me and say that I'm talking over you when I'm reporting the same thing over and over, and you keep pretending like you can't hear it. My abuser is able to enlist all these conspirators and hack my phone in the process with absolutely no accountability. I can't even do uploads anymore with my data. I have to be inconvenienced and go off somewhere and try to use Wi-Fi, and even they even try to control that if they know where I'm going. That's my life, and it's completely unaddressed. So each time I call these locations, you guys are supposed to be a support system and compassionate, but my abuser doesn't like that. He likes people to be abusive emotionally. So that's what I get. I get people to threaten to hang up, like MHMR, the director and social worker. When I told them I feared my safety, they said I'm going to hang up the phone right now. So that's how I'm treated, and that's why I'm stuck in it. So, are you refusing to give me any avenues outside of homeless shelters? That's where you want me to go flee a dangerous domestic violence situation that involves the government? You want me to go to domestic
Ma'am, I was reading
homeless
some
organizations?
domestic violence shelters. If you want those resources, I can give you those.
Yes.
But you have been talking over
Ma'am,
me,
the
and
website says that you're not supposed to gaslight people and be
Ms.
supportive and
Clark,
not be
I'm going
emotionally
to
abusive.
disconnect this call at this time. I'm going to disconnect this call because it's like I've expressed, these is out of my expertise. There's a lot of different things going on, and we're not an option for services. And so I want to give you
See how
different
they act
things based
mentally
on
ill
what you told me,
to
but
contribute
you
to
keep
psychological abuse.
talking over me and arguing, and it sounds like you're also recording this call. So I'm
No,
going
I'm
to
talking
end
to my
this call
friend.
at
I'm
this.
not recording, ma'am. I'm not recording. Who would tell you? Who would tell you something like that? She hung up after all that time. Hello, may I have your name?
Yes, crisis hotline. How may I help you?
What's the name of the organization?
Crisis hotline, man. How may I help you?
Are you? Can I know what organization I call?
Yeah, this is Mosiac Family Services. How are you doing?
Fine. May I have your name?
How may I help you?
You don't want me to know your name? Are you going to start an argument?
Thank you for calling.
Hello?
Crisis hotline.
Oh, okay. You didn't say that last time. Okay, and you don't want me to have your name?
Please press
They hung up again.
236.
I'm not answering now. They just keep hanging up. They've done it years.
Mosaic Family Services.
Yes, I called the crisis hotline and I asked for this gentleman's name, and he kept hanging up in my face on the crisis hotline. And I recall him from past calls, and he's done the same thing in the past. So I don't know why someone would hang up in another party's face on the crisis hotline, emergency crisis hotline, and get away with it years. Are you there?
Okay, ma'am. You said you're calling for a gentleman?
On the emergency crisis hotline, I get this. I have problems like this years. On the emergency crisis hotline, a gentleman kept hanging up in my face when I asked for his name,
Okay, can I have the name?
and he's done it years. I just wanted to call the emergency crisis hotline without him hanging up in my face to prevent me from getting services years like he's been doing. Why would he hang up in my face on the emergency crisis hotline? It's Kiana Clark. I'd like to know, ma'am, why would someone hang up in a party's face on the emergency crisis hotline? Years.
Okay, you said for years. What is the name of the man?
I don't know his name. He's on answering the emergency crisis hotline, and he's done it for years. And then you guys called me back and said that you couldn't help. When I came in person, my case manager kept calling, interrupting me, and the police were supposed to get called out. And with all her games, then the operator, the social worker changed and said that she couldn't call it. The police couldn't come out. She was busy that day, and then it never happened. And then I was supposed to be getting therapy and legal, and none of it ever happened. So because of my case manager bothering me when I was there, the lady backed out of giving me setting up a report with the police department because they weren't taking my reports. So I said, maybe if there's a witness and we can call the police together, then they'll be forced to take the reports. But like I said, she backed out of it. So there's been a lot of misconduct. But what can we do today?
Okay, Ms. Clark, can I get your phone number? Man's name that you said has been...
Or are you able to get on the crisis hotline? Are you able to get on he wouldn't give it to me. He kept hanging up. How would I know his name? If he didn't, he hung up with me trying to get it.
Okay, ma'am. So what I can do is I can take your name, your number, and what you're telling me, and I can pass it on to one of my supervisors.
I'd like to get help on the emergency crisis hotline.
Okay, I can also transfer you. One moment.
Oh, can you not do a blind transfer and find out the man's name that's answering the phone?
Unfortunately, I can't stay on once I transfer, ma'am.
That doesn't make sense. For a domestic violence organization, you should be able to, make arrangements with someone when you transfer and not just blind transfer them.
I'm sorry, ma'am. It's just not something I can do on my phone.
That's forcing me to stay in the problem. That really doesn't make sense, ma'am. I can't fathom a domestic violence organization has no capability to not blind transfer someone. Because how would you make arrangements for someone if you can't get them on the line prior?
Unfortunately, right now, my main phone is not working correctly. So that's
Your main phone is not. Well, I hope the FBI can work properly. Okay, ma'am, go ahead and transfer me. I just can't get his name, and you guys are helping each other network together. Okay, ma'am, let's go ahead and transfer me to him and see if he'll hang up again. Her phone's not working for 6 years. Okay, ma'am.
Crisis hotline.
Yes, can I get assistance?
Yes, how may I help you?
Yes, I'd like to know about you. You have a civil rights program?
A civil rights program?
Yes, for some kind of justice center and legal?
Yes, we have a legal department. What are you needing legal services with?
In a domestic violence crisis, protection orders of that sort in custody issues.
Okay, hold 1 second, please.
Okay. He transferred me back in the queue.
If you need emergency shelter or to reach our 24 hour.
This is how long I've been on the line trying to get Mosiac. Hello? Times.
Mark uno para español. If this is an emergency, please hang up and dial 911. If you need emergency shelter or to reach our 24-hour crisis hotline, please press 2.
Yes, how may I help you?
Yeah, I got disconnected several different times trying to get services.
Okay.
So I said I wanted legal, and this is the crisis hotline. What do you do on the crisis hotline?
Okay, ma'am. What are you needing help for? Domestic
I wanted to know
violence
what you do on the
situation?
crisis hotline.
Are you needing help for what services you're needing, ma'am? I know that you're calling. You've been calling for a while. We're trying to help you and give you services,
But you don't want me to know? Can I look? Can I go look online at what you offer since you don't want me to know? Can you hold a minute while I look
Thank you,
online
ma'am.
and see what you do on the
I see that
crisis?
you're hostile right now, and I can't be on the phone with you right now because of your tone.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you couldn't hear me. You're hanging up?
Have a great day.
None of the numbers I'm calling for the operator is answering the crisis hotline. I'm having problems with that, but it's all networked together, so it's controlled. It's not by chance.
Crisis hotline, are you fit to talk?
Yes, I'm glad you answered.
Hi,
Yeah.
how can I help you?
How do you get they're not helping me on the crisis hotline. There's been no accountability. He will not. He keeps hanging up in my face and scheming reasons not to help me. So what are the services that I can get in-house when I come in? Not the crisis hotline. What is the center's information when you come in person?
So you're calling Mosaic Family Services, and the way that our policy procedures are that you have to call the hotline, which is what you're doing now. You tell us what's happening while you're seeking shelter. We do an assessment questionnaire, and if we have the space and you're eligible for.
That's not how it's been working, ma'am. That is not how it's been working. Well, they said the crisis hotline is for the 24-hour emergency shelter, and then you have another office to where that you can get other services like the legal and other things.
So my apologies. I thought you were referring to emergency shelter.
No, I'm glad that I knew because this happens yours, ma'am. Yeah, so that's not how that it wasn't accurate. So I'd like the number to get the other services outside of the shelter. Because he is not acting right at this crisis hotline. He's been getting away with that years, and there's been no accountability. He will not assist, period. He won't give me his name. He keeps hanging up. I don't know. He won't give me his name. It's just a mail, and your phone was malfunctioning, and you can see yourself. And the phones have been malfunctioning 6 years. So, but anyway, how do I get the services in person without?
So you're looking for case management. Okay, so
yes.
What I'm going to do is the way that we operate is we take your information down and then we send
I thought it was an office, ma'am. Let me look at the website. Hold on 1 second. Because I thought it was a direct number. Hold on. Just like you were mistaken with the shelter. Hold on. You thought that I said shelter, but you were trying to give me the crisis hotline again. And you said that I had to go through them.
Ma'am, the thing is that, first of all, if you just take a deep breath, I want to help you.
Ma'am, just hold on. I get gaslit, ma'am. Just hold on and let me look to see where I should be directed to. Look online.
Okay, I can give you the main office number. What I was trying to explain to you, the process for reaching case management and how it works. So what's going to happen is you're going to call the main office, and more than likely what they'll do is they'll transfer you back over here, and then I'll have to get your information and send it through case management, and then they take about 24 to 48 hours to reach back out to you.
Okay. I supposedly had a case manager. No one bothered to get my name, but she never called. She called and said she was my case manager and would never call back again and would not return my calls. So these people call, ma'am, these people call me and try to get my hopes up high that I'll get help and then play mind games and never help. It's sadistic. So are you able to look up my information to see who the case manager is?
I'm not able to look that up in the system here because you're calling the emergency shelter. But what I can do is take your name.
Well, give me the number where the case managers are at, and then maybe they can do it.
Okay, sure, I can do that. Let's see. So let me get the extension for you.
I'm ready.
Okay, it's 214.
Okay.
821.
Okay.
5393.
Okay, hold on a second. Oh, extension what?
Extension 228.
And what is this extension for?
So this is the counseling department.
Counseling for therapy?
I'm sorry, not counseling. I'm sorry, case management. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm actually giving you the coordinators, the case management coordinator. I'm giving you her extension number, okay? Because there's no extension for that actual department.
It used to be. It changed?
Ma'am, I'm not sure. I've only been here less than a year, so I'm not sure. I know
that's been a long time for you to not know the numbers. Okay, hold on. Let me look it up.
I don't know about the past, but I can tell you right now, since I've been here since June, I'm trying to explain it to you, that our case management process, how that works is I get your information and I send it over to case management. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's why
okay. Well, are you getting my information?
Yeah, I've asked you for it twice. Yes, ma'am. Can you give it to me?
Okay. What do you need?
Okay. I need your name, please.
I thought that when I asked you if you could look in the computer system, I thought you said no, you couldn't get that information.
I cannot look it up in the computer system. That's correct. But what I can do is get your information, write it down, and send it to case management.
Oh, okay.
If you could please slow down for me and spell out your first name, okay?
It happens every day. Hacking my phone, that's criminal, cyber stalking, actual stalking, crimes to keep me away from my children, repeatedly unaddressed, and controlled environments.
Okay. And this number is safe to call you and leave you a voicemail?
It's as safe as it'll get.
Okay. Are they allowed to leave you a voicemail if you don't pick up?
Yes.
Okay. And just to let you know that it will take them about, once I send this email, it takes them about 24 to 48 hours for them to contact you. And they will be calling you private, okay? So you see a private call coming through your cell phone, more than likely, it could be them giving you a call, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, bye.
All right, you have a good day.
You too.
No para español. If this is an emergency, please hang up and then...
So they're robbing me of my right to get crisis help out of corruption.
Find out your party's extension number.
Every other party can call, get advocacy. They can go on the system, but since they're crooked, I don't have that right. She can't go on the system to see who my case manager was supposedly that never called me back to give me case management. How is it possible that I've called an organization and no one has the capacity to be able to check my name fleeing from a domestic violence crisis? Women who are endangered are getting treated like this, or perhaps maybe just me. Mosiac is a safe haven for survivors of human rights abuses, including human trafficking and domestic violence, and survivors of human rights abuses. That's exactly what I need. So they've shut it off in advance. Okay.
How can I help you?
Yes, I'm in a domestic violence crisis. I called in December and they told me it was pretty strange to call in January. Because if someone's fleeing abuse, why would you want them to wait a month to flee? Nonetheless, that's how my life is. And then in January, I didn't get anything accomplished. So I like to get help in domestic violence.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Again? Yeah, anything that you have to offer, not just shelter,
Do you
all
have
your
children
services
with
to
you?
flee abuse.
Do you have any children with you?
No,
Okay. What area are you in?
I'm homeless. I'm in that
Are
area.
you in the Dallas area?
I'm in that area.
Okay. I'm taking a look on the website for shelter.
No. Do you assist women with cab fare or ways for transit?
No, we don't provide transportation
Yeah, that
unless we
stopped.
have sometimes if we have a room available at a room, we can provide with a lift to bring her to shelter. But right now, we are full.
Yeah, you've been full
Okay.
6 years. The snap.
It's pretty normal for shelters to stay at capacity.
I'm sorry.
Have you received services from us?
Why did you guys stop putting all the shelters stop putting women in hotel rooms when they're full? Now you're just stuck in your domestic violence crisis for 6 years. No, people stop
I'm
putting
sorry,
people
ma'am.
in
Have you
hotel
received
rooms.
services through Genesis before?
No, I was lied on when I came in. They said that I was recording. They played games for years and
What's your
finally set
name?
an appointment. Do you have a Sarah there?
What's your name?
Kiana Clark. So they played games for years and would not give me
All right, Miss
services.
Clark. I'm sorry, but I'm not able to help you at this time. Let me transfer you to
Ma'am, I'm
our
trying to
director.
communicate
1
something
second.
with you. You're interrupting me. You sure this is Genesis? They don't want me incriminating people, so they cut me off. Voicemail, if it's like they normally do it.
Hi, you've reached the office of Ruth Guerrero. I'm away from my desk and will return on Tuesday, February 13th. Please leave me a message and I'll help you.
Yes. What kind of services do you offer there?
We are a domestic violence center, so we serve the victims of domestic violence.
Okay. And what else? How do you serve people of domestic violence? What do you do to serve them?
We have counseling services, we have legal services, and we can also help them get back on their feet if they're in our shelter as well. We have a shelter that we provide for you too.
Okay. Well, I just have questions, ma'am. Do you have a supervisor available?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious of why staff would sit there and look at me be assaulted for trying to attend a domestic violence support group and get arrested in front of them. Why they would do that, and then when I came a second time, why they would look at the police intimidating me and violating me at a domestic violence organization. What would possess staff to act like that? Well, for treat a woman fleeing for her abuse like that. Why didn't anyone call someone on the police department, seeing that they were obviously out of control?
Where was this at?
It was at that location, in the Plano location. They removed me there too. And then had fraud off in my file, had a different name for my abuser. So I'm just trying to get down to the bottom of why all these domestic violence crisis locations conspire with abuse and cover for crimes. Because if people are doing this in a conspiracy, that's a felony. I'm sorry?
Was this at the office or at the shelter?
The office. What's your name?
Okay, let me go.
What, you don't want me to have your name?
Supervisor.
What's your name?
Victoria. I'm just a
I think you sound familiar, like the woman I dealt with that gave me homeless shelters when I told them I was afraid for my life.
I am in Garland as well.
Yeah,
This phone goes to 2 locations.
Oh no, I went to the Garland location and I talked to someone. You sound familiar. I'm just trying to see if you were the one that I spoke with, and the police came. Like the organization was enlisted to call the police to keep me from services. So they came to intimidate and bully me. And the first time they came with an assault and arrest, and you guys just sat there and watched it. If no one can keep our police department under control and the government, why doesn't that scare anyone?
I personally don't recall that.
Okay. Well, I'm just.
I don't remember.
Well, okay. Well, this is a domestic violence organization, and I'm just telling you about my abuse and how you had a wrong name and a file in Plano.
Let me go ahead and let you talk to my supervisor.
Is the supervisor there, or will it be a voicemail?
She's here.
Okay. Thank you. Brenda and your supervisor?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there was some misconduct there, Brenda. I came back a while back. I came in 2019. I think it was around February or March, and a car
Uh-huh.
had ran me off the road. And I had the video of the incident, license plate number, and the guy ran me off the road, got out of his vehicle, and stood and was trying to intimidate me. And I had it all recorded. So I came
Okay.
there panicking because I had just ran off the road when I got there, and I showed staff, and they called the police. The police came out and told me to leave until gave me an appointment for a month away, and I was needing shelter. So since I was not getting help and I wanted to be educated on my rights, I came to a support group. The police department came and then assaulted me and arrested me. That was in April of 2019.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to get clarity, and then I came back there around October of 2022, and the police department came again, and the worker only gave me places for homeless shelters.
Okay.
She would not give me
And
any domestic violence locations. And in 2019, no, it was 2019. I also went to the Plano location, and the police department interrupted me then getting assistance. But they had did all the did everything for the orientation or whatever you call it. But they had put all my information in the system, but they had the wrong mail that was abusing me in your files. So I never got the services, but they did everything and had my name in the system. So when I came there in 2022, they gave me my files, which had a wrong abuser.
okay. And are you in need of shelter right now?
I'm just not understanding why you are not condoning the police department assaulting me and arresting me at a domestic violence support group, and your staff condoning it. I'm not quite sure why your staff gave me the numbers of homeless shelters, and then the police came a second time to intimidate and bully and remove me, and your staff sat there once again and did nothing. And then when I told you that I had been ran off the road and showed your staff evidence of that, as well as the police department, told to
Yeah.
leave with no services, the whole video of the man right there in front of the car, nothing done.
Okay. And I'm sorry, can I get your first and last name just to see what we have on our system regarding your case?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, I can. Now I can. All right. Yes, I see you here. Okay, I see where you were in the support group and the police was called, correct?
Yeah, I was lied on. I was just sitting there listening. What are you showing your files?
Let me see. So here it shows that you did stop by, like you had stated, like about a year or 2 years ago, trying to, let me see here.
Yeah, your representative gave me the number to homeless shelters and food banks,
Okay.
trying to flee
Okay,
for
so
my
the
life.
incident happened in 2019. Okay, yes, it's right here. So, just a quick question. How can I help you out today? Like, what's going on?
What did
Are
you
you
say
in
that
need
you
of
saw in
shelter?
2019? I'm trying to incriminate
Yes,
people. What did you say happened in 2019?
that is where the police was called in 2019.
Why were they called? Because I was just sitting there. I wasn't even talking. I was listening.
Yes. So, I was not, in my position at the time.
I don't think
So
the police
please
were
don't.
called. I think the police came on their own in corruption. They were legally monitoring me, and they came to interrupt any help. And they didn't want me speaking to anyone after the support group. So they came, they lied and monitored me and wanted you guys to take the fall. That's what I believe. So I don't understand why, if I reported to you, if you guys saw a video of someone running me off the road, getting out the car in the middle of the road and standing in front of the car, intimidating me on video footage. But they did call the police. But the police told the lady to give me a appointment a month away.
Yes, like I was not there, to remember or, see what happened then. But,
Well, it happened a second time. They came in 2022 because they didn't want me getting incriminating anyone on their assault and arrest and corruption.
yes. And so
How can I help you out today?
I don't
What's
know if
going
you're a
on?
domestic violence organization. Don't that sound like domestic violence? If my abuser setting that up, enlisting an organization to conspire with abuse and cover up?
So today, what kind of services are you in need of?
What are we going to do about their staff letting the police assault me and arrest me in front of them? What are they going to do about the police coming a second time in 2022? If we don't get accountability for that insanity, we can't do anything because it's just going to keep
Right.
repeating itself until something's done.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to figure out why your staff looked at me get assaulted and arrested for trying to attend a domestic violence support group and did nothing, and they had oaths to protect women, not conspire with abuse.
So, with you calling today, you want me to see what happened then and
I'm
then
just
follow up with
trying to
you,
figure out what
or
kind of accountability for your staff being accomplices to this abuse. If you are
okay,
trying to sabotage assistance in the conspiracy to violate rights, that's a felony charge. That makes your staff accomplices, and as well as any other people that want to conspire with it, including harassment schemes. All these people in all these different environments are committing crimes. Harassment is criminal. So, did you ever find accountability on why your worker gave me the number to homeless shelters? And I'm fleeing a domestic violence crisis that's serious. If I'm getting ran off the road and you guys in the police department covering for it, that's serious. If my
it,
abuser's allowed to control all domestic violence organizations and all shelters, that's serious. And churches.
okay. Well, I can reassure you that we do not have any control of other agencies. What I can, tell you is that if, based on the information that you provided, and if there was to hold, like
Why were the police called? You said they were called, ma'am. Why were they called?
Ms. Clark, again, I was not there,
You
so I
had notes?
cannot.
You said that the police were called?
I have here which was provided to you when you came back in 2022 requesting your records. It was a criminal trespass violation form from 2019.
I didn't have a criminal trespass. They conned that to have a alibi for arresting me and corruption. Why would I get a criminal trespass for reporting I've been ran off the road and showing video footage to you and the police department? Why would someone give me
Again,
a criminal
I was
trespass
not
for reporting
there
that?
on the day of the
And why would
incident.
someone
I
arrest
wasn't
me
there.
and assault me at a domestic violence support group?
Ms. Clark, again, I wasn't there, so I can't.
But you have it in your files. If I'm
I
telling
just
you
have
someone
the
ran me
form.
off the road, do they have a criminal trespass in your files?
That is not, in our records. It's just a form where, the police provided the criminal trespass.
Right, and I'm trying to get clarity on why a woman fleeing domestic abuse would have a criminal trespass. Does that make sense to you?
I'm going to have to call you back.
You got to call me back?
Yes.
I don't get my calls returned, ma'am. You're a supervisor?
Yes, I am.
And you have to go?
Well, Ms. Clark, you need to understand, we have other calls coming in, so I need to...
You have other calls coming in, but it's not serious that your staff watched me get assaulted and arrested? And you have a criminal trespass in your file? And you have to go?
Okay,
You
Ms.
sure
Clark,
this is
what
New
can I
Beginnings?
do for you today?
Well, if I'm going through a domestic violence crisis, why are you guys withholding services? That's a felony charge in a conspiracy. Where am I supposed to go? That is not sabotaged in locations keeping me from services. Where can I go?
Have you tried calling other agencies?
I'm calling New Beginnings right now.
Yes, apart from us.
I don't understand why you would refer me to another location when I call this one.
Well, you stated of what happened on that day of the incident, right?
Well, I'm trying to get down to the bottom of for 6 years why all locations are playing mind games and refer me to other locations to be sadistic. Why would all these people conspire with such insanity before COVID? When someone tells you, women, they have a inclination that something is not right and dangerous. and that mysterious school shutdown and repetitively to keep getting ignored. If someone is allowed to have bus drivers drive recklessly and have people gang stalk a bus, that's mentally unstable. And people like that don't need to be running the government. But repetitively, I'm not heard. If someone can monitor your phone and get infuriated for you just sitting at a support group and then punish you by assaulting and arresting you, that's pretty dangerous for all civilization. But I'm not heard. Because you don't let mentally unbalanced, unstable people run the government before COVID. But you know what? It has to take more than me to realize that that's unacceptable. So I don't know what to do, man. You guys won't, all organizations refuse to help, and the police department. What am I supposed to do? 6 year wasting time paying a phone bill, 6 years to get violated. Don't get my calls, just sit in it. Can't see my, just sit in it. Can't see the kids, family, friends, sabotage. Just sit in it. So what do you want me to do, ma'am?
I mean, I'm hoping you could answer that same question to me.
Well, I'm not a domestic violence organization supervisor that advocates for people in domestic violence crises and help them flee for their lives. I don't have that position. You do.
Okay. And so are you in need of counseling? Are you in need of shelter?
Well, I'm in advocacy. That's what supervisors do. I'm in need of all of it.
Okay. And so what is your current situation? Like, are you trying to get away from an abuser? Like, what's going on?
Well, I did communicate with you that your staff witnessed me get assaulted and arrested for attending the domestic violence support group, and they had video footage of me getting ran off the road. What do you think, ma'am? Do you think it's dangerous if police come to domestic violence organizations and assault you and arrest you, and the organization covers for it?
Ms. Clark, I wasn't there in 2019.
I'm just asking you if I'm not able to explain to you what happened to me, and without you condoning it and saying I wasn't there. I'm communicating. How are you going to give me a safety plan or advocate for me if you won't hear my cries for help?
Have you tried speaking with the Garland Police Victims Advocate?
I'm reporting to you that you asked me if I needed those services, and you're deflecting and going to another direction. You asked me if I needed those services. I said yes. And then I asked you what you think that I would need if your staff sat there and witnessed me get assaulted and arrested by the police department. And then they came a second time, if your staff saw that. And then you have video footage of me getting ran off the road with the police department. How dangerous does that sound to you?
Okay, Ms. Clark, I'm trying to, hear from you of like what your situation is, so I can, guide you.
Oh, okay. So you haven't heard all the things that I've been saying.
I mean, from what I've asked you so far, all you keep repeating to me is about the incident that happened in 2019. Now, I need to know what is your most recent incident.
No, police came again. They're still doing the same thing for all locations. I'm being cyber stalked and stalked in person. And there's a conspiracy to violate my rights, which is a felony crime. Before COVID, I thought I'd address that. And I was explaining that mentally unstable people don't need to run the government, but nothing has been done.
And unfortunately, Ms. Clark, there's nothing I can do regarding the government. All I can do is try to,
I just don't understand when I'm going to find out what organizations do, because I haven't had it in 6 years. Just only mind games. I repeatedly keep asking you how you can help, and you keep trying to deflect and not tell me.
Okay. I mean, your needs right now, based on what you've told me, they're out of my power. Based on what you've stated so far.
So no one has a right to report assault and arrest by police and corruption? People at a domestic violence organization can't report that. They don't have obligations. Social workers, they don't have a responsibility to report crimes to keep me away from my daughter. CPS crimes, there's no obligation to report. You have paperwork saying that they gave me a criminal trespass and the police were called out. You don't have an obligation to report crimes and misconduct by the police department?
Have you tried getting an attorney?
Ma'am, do you have an obligation to report as social workers and supervisors in a domestic violence organization?
I mean, we we are mandated reporters, but it would be
Did you
towards
report
the
it?
police.
Did you report the assault you
Or
witnessed? You saw the paperwork.
I wasn't
Did
there.
Did you report it? Did anyone report it that witnessed it?
I did it. I wasn't there.
Okay, well, what's in your file? Did anyone report it that you see
The
in your
police
file?
was there. The police was called, which is, we are
Why would
mandated
the
reporters.
police were
So
called out?
in 2019, according to this document, yes, they
Oh,
were.
why were the police called out for me sitting at a domestic violence support group, just sitting there, not even
Again,
talking?
I wasn't there. Again.
I don't think the police were called out. I think were illegally monitoring me, and they were upset that I tried to flee for my life, and they had scheduled that appointment out a month away. But I wanted to go to that domestic violence support group, and they had already controlled multiple different parties to keep me away from services for a whole month, and they were infuriated that I went to the support group. That's what I think. And then they made you guys take the fall for it, so they wouldn't have accountability for their crimes.
Who would you like to be accountable for the crime?
So, I don't know how many videos equal an arrest. Mornings, weeks, it has turned into years. Just completely fruitless. But this is crime hacking a phone network. And I keep repeatedly saying the same thing year after year. Do you care about your family and the identity theft that other parties have experienced? If you have not cared about this black woman begging for her life year after year after year, and nothing repetitively done for my child that was in a domestic violence crisis, the hit and run of my son, the middle child, and Lord knows what happened to the older ones, to have them terrified and afraid to speak with me. If no one has had any compassion for this black woman, do you have any compassion for the world being taken over by identity thieves? How are they doing it? So obviously it's fruitless for me to make these phone calls on my phone. I just want people to see what I've had to endure years, how they're condescending, these mind games all over the place. When I go to church, every environment, I'm stalked, hunted like an animal to get violated. You can't even give proper service here. Everything down to me going to a restaurant trying to get a cup of coffee is controlled. And then people want to know, why is her attitude? I've tried to get therapy, and that's controlled too. Okay, ma'am, you guys haven't got your charges. So I don't suspect anything will change until something's done. Okay, ma'am. If you didn't care about all that insanity, I don't think there's anything else what we can do. Because if you had fraud, your caseworkers covered for my abuser and put a false name off in the file, that's pretty extreme for domestic violence organizations to cover for the lady's abuser and be controlled by him. Okay, ma'am, I just wanted evidence that that's what was really going on, ma'am. Have a nice day.